Hello, comic fans. Here's Earl Grey. Yeah, I'm pumping it out. I'm on a roll, baby. And now with my favorite category, actually, of all these lists, the auteur cartoonists. My favorite 30 of them. Yeah, I was really surprised myself how many cartoonists I have who draw after their own script. Never had thought about it before, at least as thoroughly as I did now. Even though there are still mistakes and cartoonists that I have left out totally. And the honorable mention list is a list of shame, actually, because Noah Van Sciver, Jeff Lemire, Matt Kindt, Simon Henselman, S. Clay Wilson, David Lapham, Jeff Darrow, Michael D. Forge, Michel Rabelliati, Anders Nielsen, James Stokoe, and Brandon Graham, and many, many more. They all would have deserved to be in this top 30 list. Today I will speak about the books from 30 to 16, and I try to keep it as off the cuff and unedited as I can. Maybe I have to edit it out because I will talk rubbish, but yeah, be warned. Some crowd going at ya, and but I couldn't limit myself to 15 or so in this category. So I wanted to include Hal Foster on 30. I mean, he is influential as F, and just a great draughtsman, surprisingly enthralling, is this a word? Adventures of this knight at the days of King Arthur. My rank 30. For the most part, I tried to get 3 books by these cartoonists, as in the last video and in the coming video. But yeah, Hal Foster is Prince Valiant. Prince Valiant is Hal Foster. Full stop. And now let's go to one of the few female cartoonists, but she's really close to my heart. Julie Doucet, to German editions of her New York Diary, and what's the English title of these autobiographic little slice of life pieces here? Honest to a point that it is maybe somehow maybe too honest for some people, but I always found it interesting, especially since you have someone on the other side of the gender pond, so to speak, and this is the first hardcover of these 2 collected editions, collected by Drawn and Quarterly, in that beautiful slipcase edition that I've shown you in a video sometimes back in the day. And now to rank 28, Gilbert Shelton. I mean, where would I be without the Freak Brothers, and especially without Wonder Warthog? I often said it, and I say it again, how much I love the superhero spoof. Great stuff, and wonderful are these new collected editions of the old Fabulous Furry Freak Brothers. They started with the most recent Freak Brothers comics and count down to 1, and now we're at 4. If the third one is... No, the third one is not out yet. And they did this cutout thing here. Nice. I mean, I don't have to explain you what are the Freak Brothers all about. From the art point of view, view. It is just an invitation to draw yourself. Not that this art here is bad, but you can always see just the opposite, quite the opposite. But you can see how all these hatching is done, and of course it's not Gilbert Shelton here alone on art duties, but he has support by Dave Sheridan and Paul Mavridis. Especially in the later comics, the others almost took over, and he was just a name, Bob Kane, almost. No, that would be unfair. So, just one book here, but as Hal Foster is Prince Valiant, Stan Sakai is Usagi Yojimbo. There's Rabbit, Bunny. Rabbit is this hare. That is a samurai, and these stories are well drawn and told by this guy here, and so it's a unity of story and art, and that's actually what this video is all about. The special something that you get when the one who's drawing it is the one who wrote the story as well. Like Monsieur Milton Caniff. I mean, this is just a slim collection here of his wartime strips. Mail Call, a bit more raunchier than his usual newspaper strips. I mean, what you used to call naughty or raunchy back in the day. Of course, Milton Caniff's big things here are Steve Kenyon and Terry and the Pirates, that is now recollected, newly collected in these huge books by Clover Press. I mean, the title cover here, the title design, is something that I would like to discuss with the publisher, but they have these connecting spines to a big picture. So, and the whole book is made out of beautiful scans, showcasing these adventures of Terry and his adult friend there, and lots of ladies like the Dragon Lady and so on and so forth. It's a good blend of daily adventures, so he had to deliver in 3 panels in this case here, and Monday, November 19th, 1934, and so on. But it overall the adventures, the stories are really good, and somehow a template for many comics that came much later. A lot of European comics, like Dan Cooper, for instance, and all these comics with pilots of aeroplanes in the army. They really know where their influences were, and so Milton Caniff, highly influential. Now to the next one, Eric Powell, rank 25. Actually, this book here about the serial killer Ed Gein. This was a slight disappointment. Maybe my expectations were too high. I wasn't too keen on that book, but Eric Powell deserves to be in this list here, of course. because of the Goon story and his art. Again, a seamless blend of art and stories, these retro styled watercolor style drawings. You can't be too sure today if it's real watercolor, but I think it is, and sometimes you even see the pencils. So there was an artist edition of Chinatown, one of the arcs in the Goon. And actually I thought these beautiful Dark Horse Library editions here, they really do the trick for me. Yeah, it's beautiful art, goofy, bonkers storytelling, like I like it. It's really nice. Now, on rank 24, a guy that you may have expected a bit higher in the list here, but yeah, Gilbert Hernandez, he is not one of, not my favorite of the two brothers, even though this is a beautiful book, little flip hardcover with two of his bonkers, is this an adjective? His crazy, his weird, his whimsical stories, a hypno twist, and it's more a loose, dreamy sequence of events. And actually, this is some story that when you read it the first time, you think, what? The second time it makes some kind of sense. The third time you will think, oh, that's an interesting story and told in an interesting way. And this as well, even though this belongs almost to his, let's say, perverted out group of comics like Blubber. I mean, adults only. This is for real, folks. There's really no page without boner or some explicit scenes in it. So at first I thought, hey, it's really just a gimmick, Gilbert, stop it. But now I can't read it without laughing out loud. It's hilarious. But still no... yeah, I still want my old Gilbert back. That's stupid, I know. The fanboy in me wants the old Blood of Palomar stories with Luba and all these believable characters, not the whole big-boobed porn stars that he likes to draw nowadays. I mean, I get it. It's a bit... Yeah, he's on some art mission, and I kind of like it, but Blood of Palomar and all the earlier Love and Rocket stories by him, they are really what I love about Gilbert Hernandez. So, yeah, continuing the whacked out path here, and he is Mr. Whacked Out. On rank 23, Mr. Basil Wolverton. This is Culture Corner, a collection of two tire strips, and sometimes with the original pencil drawings here. So it's kind of an art book as well, or artist edition even, in a small format. The jokes actually have not all aged that well, but his cartooning, the pictures itself, are so fun that it's funny again. But the stories are, for the most part, that's the reason why I love his sci-fi stuff a lot more. And this is... biography, the second volume of a two-part biography, of course done by the fantastic folks of Fantagraphics. And here's the one of the best books in my collection, really, Space Hawk by Basil Wolverton, and that's the kind of goofy, fantastic sci-fi trash. I did some readings of these chapters and promised to read the whole book. I think it's due time to continue with these kind of videos. It's wonderful, colorful nonsense, but what beautiful stuff. Now to Europe and Brecht Evans. Belgian artist. And so here, this most recent book by him, The City of Belgium. I've celebrated it in a video devoted to his comics. And a trip. Again, the story is a trip through a huge city, and you see the nightlife, all of these people here. And I think stories like these are much easier to make when you write your own script. Then you are more flexible. You can choose the sequence of pages just on your own whim, on your belly feeling. And so this is probably the reason why there are so many cartoonists here on my shelf, with these kind of cartoonists who are their own authors. Brecht Evans has this very idiosyncratic style to tell really unforgettable stories, like Panther, which is, in the end, and it's no spoilers because you will soon figure it out, it's a very awkward story about child abuse, actually. Still not my favorite book. If I would recommend a book by Brecht Evans to you, The Making of, or even The City of Belgium. Great stuff. Now something else from Europe, but still something totally different. François Bourgeon is the great guy of European history comics. Voyages in the Wind, or however an English translation would be called, if there would be any translation, and I have my doubts. This is a saga through the 19th century and too complex to be told here in a few seconds. If you like history comics, François Bourgeon, he's your man. Oops. And even if you like sci-fi stories with some, let's say, kinky touch here, because future fashion seems to be scantily clothed, but it's really not inappropriate or something like this. It's just a very detailed sci-fi world. You know, if you read François Bourgeon for the very first time, then I would recommend the Feast of the Fool's Party, however you translate this here. And just the cover alone is so beautiful. And it was a 3-part series in a slipcase here, and that never hurt my comic heart. This story here plays in a period in time we call the 100 Years' War, the 100-year-long war between England and France. But it's not actually so much of a war comic. It has magic, it has medieval atmosphere in it. It is great. I think I use the adjective great a lot. I apologize, but what's true is true. And another great artist is Richard Sala. Props to For the Love of Comics here, because he really did 2 fantastic videos about this guy here, and I did now some videos as well about him, and it's just great, old-fashioned, goofy 60s style cartooning with modern sensibilities in which I mean throwing so many characters in our face that we are just don't know where there's above and where there's below. But it's great. You have to roll with these stories here, and this is the Chuckling What's It that was reprinted now in this nice hardcover volume. Highly recommended. Richard Sala of late. And now we come to Taiyo Matsumoto. He has to... yeah, he's there underneath. And yeah, the only manga artist in my list now, probably when I do the next list, couple of lists in 3 years or 5 years or whatever, whenever, there is a high probability that there will be more manga artists in it, or manga writers, or however. Taiyo Matsumoto, I can't skip him now, because Sunny, as I've often said it, is a gripping tale about these kids in some children home. They've lost their parents, or their parents don't care for them anymore for different reasons, so they have to deal with this situation. And yeah, it's a different thing to have to deal with a situation and actually be able to deal with this situation. Tender, heart-warming, sad, and full of hope at the same time. Taiyo Matsumoto was himself in some kind of orphanage, so he knew what he was writing and drawing about here. Go-Go Monster. This is a beautiful German edition, but I think the English edition looks pretty much the same, about this cool boy, and he's highly imaginative. And when you have read Sunny before, you will understand Taiyo Matsumoto a bit better, and especially Attack on Concrete. Again, the German edition. A beautiful book, really. But at first I didn't know really what to make out of the story, but it makes sense the more you read Taiyo Matsumoto. And here you already can see art by Mr. Michael Allred. And yeah, put this book here to my examples, because it's one of his experiments in 3D art. So when you put on the 3D glasses, you will have a very even groovier feeling when reading the stuff here. And groovy is, of course, the adjective that fits Michael Allred the most, be it the Silver Surfer here. And hey, I could put iZombie here into the mix, but this is a very cool, romantic, emotional tale. And given that Silver Surfer is actually one of the most detached Marvel characters, as far as I see him, it's a little wonder, and it fits. It's so on point. And luckily enough, we have now the Madman library, 5 tomes in all. This is volume 1 with everything Madman and Madman related in it. Yeah. I love his not very original but groovy, okay, again groovy, elegant, fluid, poppy, pop artish, artsy line work. So now to rank 17 and this penultimate. Damien, if you heard this, see this video, the penultimate comics and the penultimate artist with my penultimate judgment about Farrell Dalrymple, and it's just splendid. I mean, Farrell Dalrymple would deserve to be my number 1, and somehow all of these artists are. When I'm in a certain mood, there is a favorite one that I grab for the moment, and when I read the Wrenchies, there's no one better than Farrell Dalrymple to give me a special feeling in diving and escaping in his odd future world full of little children heroes, kids heroes that actually feel like kids. And you forget, for the most part, that it's rather a sad post-apocalyptic world. But it's so fun and nicely told and rendered that it is really a joy. Somehow we have some crossoverings here with the pop art, Pop Gun War. This is one of 2 trades with Pop Gun War that I own. And yeah, so we have some, you saw one of the Wrenchies characters there, at least one. And here's some kind of art book with bonus comics, annotations, but somehow everything enriching us and give us more insight into his way of thinking in words and pictures. And yeah, again, it's a unity here, and I doubt that it would be possible if someone else would write for Farrell Dalrymple. So now to the last artist of today who writes his own stuff for the most part. Or, yeah, always, actually. It's Peter Bagg. I mean, that's Peter Bagg. These rubber tentacle limbs that he likes to draw, the over-exaggerated face expressions and all that fits his comics so incredibly well. And the storytelling is taken right from reality. I often said it, and I say it again, that Buddy Bradley is some kind of alter ego of mine. I mean, and of many of us. I think we're not so unique in our way how we hunted down long players or tapes or some collectibles or whatever, and all the other stuff, the relationships that are depicted there and so on. Reset is something, here's neat stuff, which was the precursor to Hate. And so you can see how the Buddy Bradley's family evolved from the beginning in these beautiful editions by Fantagraphics. Both of them were available. I doubt that you will get these slipcase editions, but there will be enough printed editions available all over, everywhere, of hate and neat stuff, I'm pretty sure. And if not, you can grab some other more recent adventures drawn by Peter Bagge. This is a sci-fi adventure in quotes, please, because his characters are most often more in commentary, satire on our society and the state in which we are today. This, and this little sci-fi tale here is no exception in that. Okay, that was all for this video, but I will record just the next video in a row, and then you have it. Heaps and heaps of books and artists, and it's almost no selection anymore. But I can't help it. If you have to mention, if I mention one name, two others come into my mind. And I'm pretty sure when I close this video, I will think of many artists. Just looking here on my shelves, I get new ideas. But that's all for this video. Thanks for listening and watching. Goodbye.